And this is why we cannot afford to let Mason Mount go to Manchester United. Chelsea get banged 4-1 at Old Trafford. We miss a handful of sitters. Mudryk, Gallagher, Havertz, you name it. No one could put the ball in the back of the net in the first 60, 70 minutes. It wasn't until Joao Felix comes on and shows a bit of class. But at the end of the day, Mason Mount in that role, in that position where Gallagher was playing, perhaps behind the strikers, as a 10, as an 8, whatever, however, in an advanced position, Mason Mount is tucking away one or two of those chances, is going to be far more composed on the ball, and we might have changed the tide of this game. At the end of the day, Chelsea bossed moments of that game, even before Man United got that easy goal that Casemiro just nodded in, unchallenged, unmarked. You know, the game might have been different had we scored first, had we had some composure in the final third. I feel like this game might not have been a runaway score as it was at the end, 4-1. And the fact that Man United are sniffing for Mason Mount, it's been the narrative of this game at the end of the day. Let's face it, the build-up to this game, a lot of it has been about the fact that Mason Mount is leaning towards a move to Manchester United, which is honestly beyond me. Like, I understand the allure of maybe Liverpool, who are going to be back with a vengeance next year, and, you know, playing under Jurgen Klopp, that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Arteta, Arsenal, what they're doing, you know, their trajectory is only going up. I can understand potentially wanting to go there. I can get it. But going to Man United, I mean, okay, they're top 4. They've got a League Cup. They're in the FA Cup final. I just don't really understand that one. I feel like that's more of a slap in the face to Chelsea, in my opinion. At the end of the day, I do feel like Todd Boehly needs to put up the money and needs to give Mason Mount what he wants. Give him the contract he wants. Give him the money that Raheem Sterling is on and all these other players are on. And Mason Mount sitting there on half, you know, even like a third of some of the salaries that some of the new players have come in on. And it is definitely disrespectful. And I'm not a fan of the way Mason Mount has been treated. I know a lot of Chelsea fans have got onto Mason Mount, particularly this season. But at the end of the day, this is our golden boy. He's one of our own. He's come through the ranks. And, okay, this season has not been great. But the previous 2 seasons have been outstanding. The numbers he's put on the board, he's scored more, he's provided more goals and assists than a lot of the players that we rant and rave about. Your Fodens, your Grealishes, you know, ESR was on one at one season, and I think Mason Mount pipped all of them. Like, Mason Mount has at least given us 10 to 13 goals a season, maybe 6, 7 assists in those previous 2 seasons. This season's been shambolic. Can you blame him? Can you blame him? This guy has been at Chelsea his whole career, and all of a sudden, under one reign, one system, one organisation, and it's all just been snatched. And of course, he feels a bit lost, as I'm sure everyone at Chelsea is, and even us as fans, we're lost. We don't understand it. So I do feel like Mason Mount is more than justified to have a dip in performances, as any Chelsea player is at this point in time, because it's been an absolute travesty at our club. We can admit that. But yeah, we can't let him go to Man United. It just doesn't make sense. And at the end of the day, Nemanja Matic going to Man United, that one hurt. Juan Mata going to Man United, that one hurt. Mason Mount, this could be the third M that could go to Man United. And yeah, it would be heartbreaking. It would be heartbreaking to see Mason Mount go to Man United. It shouldn't have been 4-1. We should have scored earlier. We should have been tighter in defence. And we shouldn't have let this game get away from us so badly. There were so many chances for both teams across the 90 minutes. And Man United took a few of theirs at the end of the day. Casemiro, clearly the difference maker. And Chelsea couldn't take any of theirs. Gallagher, Mudryk, Havertz. Honestly, look at yourselves. How can you be training all week and not tuck away some of those chances? The Havertz one is harsh, I guess. Great ball from Lewis Hall. The Gallagher ones are unforgivable. They're unforgivable, honestly. They're really hard to understand how he's missed them. It's Mudryk, again, the Mudryk one in the first 5-10 minutes is awful. Absolutely awful. I think Gary Neville in the commentary described it perfectly. He doesn't have a picture in his head on what he's going to do. And no Chelsea player seems to. No Chelsea player seems to know how to score a goal and have that envisioned in their mind as the ball comes to their feet. It is all on a weird autopilot that doesn't result in any goals being scored. It's frustrating. It's been a frustrating game to watch. There were some minor positives throughout the game, The lineup we fielded, of course, was a youthful one. Lewis Hall, Noni Madueke, Mudryk, who just doesn't seem to have it together yet. You know, I felt like Lewis Hall, every time I see him play, is always an eye-catching performance. There's always positives there. He had his moments. There are lapses in his game where he does seem to switch off, maybe defensively. But what he offers going forward is great. I mean, we're in no shortage of that when it comes to our wing-backs. I know he's touted as a central midfield player, but I can't see him there. To me, he's great coverage for Ben Chilwell. And Marco Correa should be looking on very, very worried. He should be very concerned because Lewis Hall has already surpassed any game I've seen from Correa this season. But, you know, not a hard goal to meet at this point in time when it comes to Marco Correa's performances. But it was just Enzo Fernandez, I thought, was also very good. Didn't really put a foot wrong. Showed fight. Showed willingness. Was quick in his distribution. Made great passes. At the end of the day, like, we really created a lot of opportunities from midfield. Enzo was pivotal in that. And it was just that we couldn't tackle him away, as per usual. Defensively, Wesley Fofana. I mean, where's the temperament, Wesley? Where's the temperament? You've had an awful 2 games recently. Manchester United and Manchester City. You've contributed. You've directly given the opposition 3 goals. The Man City goal was all you, literally passing it for Julian Alvarez to score. Tonight, you absolutely did not need to hack away at Bruno after getting savagely megged. You did not need to bite at that. And then the pass, the loose pass, the lapse of concentration. Yes, we're 3-0 down, but we don't need to see cricket scores, Wesley. It needs to be composure. This is Chelsea. We're not at Leicester anymore, mate. Yeah? Goals do not need to be leaking in left, right and centre. We need to be locking it up, tightening it up, making sure everything's watertight. Because we do not want cricket scores. They live long in the memory. Man United have been battered this season by Liverpool, 7-0. That will forever live long in the memory. Chelsea, again, have been battered by Man United. I recall the 4-0 for Frank Lampard's first game. That was a tough one to take. And here we are again, 4-1. It's not on, Wesley. It's not on. I don't want to see those kind of performances. You've been so good since you've come back from this injury. And you've really let the wheels come off as of late. And I see its frustration, and I see that clearly he's not happy with where the team are at and the lack of fight. But it's all just spiralled. And at the end of the day, you can't be playing like that. You need to be more composed. You need to be more calculated in your performances. This game could have been not 4. We might not have conceded 4, Wesley. You definitely did not help us out tonight. Conor Gallagher, mate. I mean, I want you to do well. I want you to perform, but I just don't think you are quite at the level. This climate that Chelsea are at the moment, the way that we are desperate to score, where there's so much expectation, there's so much pressure. I don't think Conor Gallagher coming to Chelsea and staying at Chelsea is really the direction that we need to go in, because I can't see his level really drastically improving. And when you see the likes of Joao Felix, Enzo, when you see Joao Felix come on, honestly, Conor Gallagher's got no place, no right being in the same team as Joao Felix at this point. And I know it's harsh because Gallagher scored some big goals this season, and fair play to him, but it's a big role to give up to Conor Gallagher, especially if we're thinking of letting Mason Mount go. It's just it doesn't quite make sense, and I think we have to part ways. And it's games like this where we're reminded that Gallagher is just not at the level, not quite at the tempo that we need if we're going to go on and we're going to get ourselves out of this mess and we're going to be a top club. Chalobah, I thought, was very good. I thought TREV was really, really solid. At the end of the day, especially where Wesley was so poor, TREV was composed, and I've been really impressed with his performances recently. Yes, he has the odd mistake in him every now and then, but overall, I think Chalobah's definitely a man that belongs in this Chelsea squad. Definitely a man who I think deserves to get another season, at least under Pochettino, before we decide on a long-term solution. I was really impressed with Chalobah this evening. And that's about it, really. I mean, Joao Felix's goal was classy. He comes on, he does things. At the end of the day, had he started I'm not sure we would have got this kind of Joao Felix performance. It seems to be when he comes on, he's electric and he lights it up. It's too few and far between, these Joao Felix performances. He gives me these lone wolf vibes. He's playing for himself. But at the end of the day, he took his goal very well. And hey, if we're going to let Mason go, maybe we're going to put some of that money on Joao. I mean, that might make a little bit of sense, but it's a really, really big, sticky predicament we found ourselves in at this point of the season. Nothing to play for. Man United have solidified third place, and Chelsea are just playing football, waiting for this, hoping that this season ends as soon as possible. But guys, let me know what you think about this game. Were there any talking points that I missed? Were there any, noteworthy points about this game? Any insights? Please share it in the comment below. I'll be sure to reply. Like this video if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And please, it would be great to hear your points on this game and everything surrounding Chelsea at the moment, especially with this Mason Mount saga. All right, guys. Till next time.